everybody, and welcome to flag placement for 2023 for us. Welcome. If you haven't volunteered with us in the past in placing flags, we're glad to have you, and we hope that you love this as much as we do, and we have you returning. To those that are here again and have done it a year or two, or all of the years that we've been out here, we thank you immensely. So those of you that have been out here before and been through it, this is going to be my spiel that I do. So we're sending it out in advance, and then we're also going to be doing it out at the cemetery the morning of placement for each group that gets sent out. So one of the changes that I'm sure you guys have already heard of and seen a video for is that we are going to be changing the position location for our flags this year. And it's going to be starting this year and going forward. We are no longer going to be placing flags a foot out dead center. We are now going to be placing flags to just the left side of the head, the front of the headstone. And we are going to be placing them about 3, maybe 4 inches off of the headstone itself, so that way we are allowing for the flag to be able to have wind movement and room for the flag to be able to wave with the wind. A couple things that I want to go over while we're out here. Rules of the cemetery. If you're coming out here with littles, we ask that you are able to make sure that you are in control of them and observing everything they're doing. While we're out here, we need to make sure that it is a place that is to be respected. There's not going to be any yelling while we're out here, no screaming, no horse playing, no running through the sections, and to make sure that we're not sitting on or leaning on any of the headstones or other monuments that are out here. So with that, while you're out here, when you get your flags at the check-in area and you are assigned to a section, you're going to be given a blue tote bag, and the flags that you will be placing will be inside that blue tote bag. The tote bag you can use to place on the ground, and then put the bundles of flags on top of that if you need to be able to have both hands to place the flag. We do ask that you don't set the bundles of flags directly on the ground themselves. Use that tote bag as just kind of like a barrier. And when you get the flags, they're going to be in bundles. Just go ahead and unroll them. When you look at the flag, you're going to see that there will be a gold cap. We ask just to go ahead and give that a little wiggle. Sometimes that they're not securely on there. If you notice that it is loose and coming off, we're going to set that one aside, and we're going to consider that as a non-placeable flag. So when you're out there and you're placing your flags, you want to make sure that you are holding the flag from underneath the flag itself, and that you're holding on to about halfway down the flag staff. And when you're going to be driving the flag into the ground, we want to make sure that you're using both hands and that you're driving it straight down vertically into the ground. So then that way the flag is completely vertical and not leaning to one side or another. So once that's done, some of the areas in the cemetery, depending on the weather, depending on if it's an irrigated area or not, some areas the flag goes in so smooth and so wonderfully. Other areas, it is very hard to drive those flags into that ground. Suggestions that we have had from volunteers in the past is a long shaft screwdriver, Phillips screwdriver, and they had used that to kind of like pre-make the holes before they put the flags in those areas of the cemetery that are very hard to get the flags in. So if that is something you want to do in case you are in an area where the ground is very tough to get these flags in far enough, feel free to do that. That will be something we cannot provide, but if that's something that you would like to do, more than welcome. We also want to make sure that you guys are driving the flag into the ground a good, 4 inches or more, just so that way we can ensure that the wind isn't going to topple the flag, that it's in far enough that it's really going to be seated in there. it, you shouldn't have too many issues, but if you do come across while you're placing your flags and you open your bundles that the gold cap is loose or broken, if the flag itself is detached from the flag staff, or if the flag staff itself is broken, either to a blunt end or if it's shortened, when you get your flags, all of the flags will have a speared end on the end of the flag staff, which makes it easier for us to be able to drive them into the ground. So if that is broken at all, whether it's broken to a blunt point or the flag staff is shortened, what I do ask is that you guys go ahead and break that flag staff in half. Make it so it's very visibly obvious that this is not going to be a flag that we want placed out on a resting place out here. So whether you decide to break it over your knee, whether you break it in your hand, however it is, but we just want to make sure that visibly that flag is not any way possible going to make its way out to a headstone or footstone. And then any broken or damaged flags that you have during the flag placement, we ask that you put those just back in that blue tote bag that you had been given when you first checked in. And then at the end of your time placing flags, we ask that you bring those tote bags back to the check-in area, and then that way if you have any broken ones, we can make sure that they are disposed of appropriately. Some other rules that while you guys are out here, we want to make sure that when you're placing flags, we're not moving anything else. So if somebody has some flowers that are to the left of the headstone, we still want to go ahead and place our flag, but if we have to change it a little bit position-wise to do so, so we're not disturbing what the loved ones or family members have left there previously, we will do that. If you see any items that are left that you might think are garbage, we're going to leave them there. For example, some candy bars. We've seen some beer cans, alcohol bottles, soda bottles, anything like that. Those are items that were left by those loved ones for the person that they were visiting. It's a special memento from them to the person they're visiting, so we are going to make sure we are leaving all of that stuff as is and not touching it. In the same category with that, if you see any coins, whether they are on the ground around the headstone or they are on top of the headstone, or if they are on top of the niches, the plates in the columbarium walls, we are not going to be touching any of those either. There is a significance behind the coins being left and the denomination of the coin itself. So if you don't know what that is and you are wondering and interested about it, I would suggest that you go ahead and just give it a quick Google. It is pretty awesome once you learn the meaning behind it, and while you're out here looking around and seeing some of the coins that are left. Again, I don't know, I guess after that, once you're done placing your flags, just make sure that you're letting us know by bringing your tote bag back. We'll take any broken ones. And I will say, we filled up really quickly this year for flag placers. 2 hours, we had everything filled, but we always have an issue of people not showing up for whatever the reason is. So if you place your flags and you are interested in doing more or helping out in a different manner, please step back or come back to the volunteer check-in area, and we can absolutely make sure that you are able to help some more if you're willing to. So other than that, if anybody has any questions, let us know. And I am going to step off, and you guys can go ahead and see how the new flag placement position will be done to the left of the front of the headstone.